I'm going to perform task number 8, which is just a modified knots test. So first things first, I have on my PPE, I have gloves, lab coat, and my goggles. And down here I have all of my supplies. I have 2 different 15 ml centrifuge tubes. I have my new methylene blue stain in my secondary container with its label. I have my 2% formalin in my secondary container with its label as well. I have a large plastic pipette to do my mixing. I have my 1 ml of anticoagulated blood, or EDTA, sample that has the patient's name and date and species. I've mixed it already a couple of times just to make sure that we don't have any clots, which we don't. I have a slide over here which we're going to put our drop on, and then we have our microscope cover slip which we'll put on as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. First thing I want to do, take up one of my 15 ml centrifuge tubes. Going to take off the blue lid because we don't need it. And then I'm going to take my 2% formalin and fill up my centrifuge tube about 10 mLs. So I'm going to take off the red cap, and we're going to fill it up to 10 mLs. Okay. So my 2% formalin, we're up to right here, 10 mLs. Alright. And then on top of that, I'm just going to take my sample of 1 ml of EDTA, or anticoagulated blood sample, and add it into the centrifuge tube as well. Just going to put the cap back on, place it over here. Alright, so now we have our 2% formalin mixed in with our EDTA sample, which is 1 ml of EDTA. So now what we want to do is make sure that it's mixed thoroughly. So I'm just going to take my thumb and firmly place it over the opening of the tube and grab the tube really well. I'm doing everything over a weedy pad just in case I have any drops or any spills, which hopefully we don't. And then we're just going to invert it several times to make sure that both of our solutions get mixed thoroughly. Alright, it's looking nice and mixed, so I'm just going to gently take up my thumb. I'm just going to dab it on the corner of my weedy pad just to get off the formalin and blood mixture off my thumb. Okay, so as you can see, we are nice and mixed now with our 2% formalin and our EDTA sample. Alright, so then what we're going to do, I have my other tube over here that I'm going to take off the blue cap. And we're just also going to fill that with the 2% formalin just to be a balance when we go to centrifuge it. So we're just going to fill that up as well. Okay. So then as you see, we are approximately at the 11 ml mark on both of our samples. So that means we're going to be balanced. So we're going to go ahead and spin it down. So I'm going to put my sample into the centrifuge, and then I'm going to put the balance directly across from it. This way it's balanced out. I'm going to close the lid. And then typically you want to spin it anywhere from 1000 to 1500 RPM for about 5 minutes. Our manufacturer guide says that this bad boy runs at about 1300 RPMs. So we're going to run our sample at 1300 RPMs for 5 minutes. So I have my timer right here. We're going to turn the knob to 5 minutes. And then I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes as well. And we're going to press start. Okay, so then that is part 1 of task 8. So once this is done spinning, I'll come back and we'll continue on.